Hello, very good evening. Elle here. So today I'm basically gonna break down a fairly common mental disorder or illness in a very layman kind of way. What I'm doing is basically on anxiety. I know how to start this, so probably I'll start with what is anxiety. So a simple thing about anxiety that you can kind of relate to is it comes from fear. So when you have fear, it kind of disrupts, almost stops you from doing something that you want to do. It stops you from eating, it stops you from walking, jumping, meeting people, etc. And when anxiety is basically detrimental is when it stops you from your normal daily routine. And that's what you don't want. So when you do recognize that you have that, there is a possibility, not saying that you are diagnosed yet. You gotta see a professional to get that confirmed. But you are technically, being screened in a way that you have it. So what is it? So there's like a few other symptoms underneath it before you can say that probably I have it. So first one, you must have excessive worrying. Okay, excessive worrying without no cause. You find it difficult for you to control that worry that you have, and sometimes you have a few of these symptoms, 3 or more, depends. Restlessness, you'll have sleep disturbances, irritability, hard to concentrate, easily fatigued, okay? But you gotta, you have to differentiate it, because sometimes when you have depression or so, you might have some fatigue as well. And muscle tension, because of your body is tense. And what else? I think, those are the 6 symptoms. And you have to be very, very careful, because sometimes these symptoms might overlap with other mental illnesses there are, such as as I mentioned before, there's depression, and there's co-occurrence of depression with anxiety, as well as eating disorders. Sometimes you would have a bit of anxiety to eat. So these are the things you have to be really sure of. And how you do that? Go see a counselor or a professional, or go to the hospital and get checked, because these are kind of, in my opinion, it's pretty serious, okay? And then you also have to be sure that it's not due to physiological changes. For instance, due to substances. So for instance, if you're taking medicine and that causes you to have a bit of nervousness, or you can't sleep because of it, please be sure it's not because of medicine or drugs that you're taking. Okay, so check that. When you have all these looked into, and you seem to feel like you fall into some of it, what can you do? Well, as a first step, like a first aid, I would call them, try 2 simple steps. These 2 simple techniques, I call them. So the first technique is called the breathing technique. So breathing techniques requires 3 stages. So the first stage is inhaling with 5 seconds, and then hold it for 3 seconds, and then exhale in 5 breaths through the mouth. So inhale with your nose, hold for 3 seconds, and exhale 5 times in 5 breaths. So an example would be basically that's 5 seconds supposedly, and then you hold for 3 seconds, and then you let it out in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Continue to do that. If you're having anxiety, sometimes you don't remember that. When you're panicking, you can't do it at the moment, right? That's why it's so important for you to practice it beforehand. Practice it so that you can do it when you do have it, or just keep a mental note, somewhere on your phone when you're panicking, what should you do, just to get that, the word is get it controlled, so you can reduce as many mishaps as you can when you are having these anxiety attacks. Another way, sometimes, I think we've also read about this somewhere, that there's this thing called grounding techniques. Grounding techniques requires your, 5 again. 5 is our magic number today. So 5 senses. So the first sense, obviously your sight, your touch, your smell, your taste, as well as your ears. So whichever one goes first, there's no order, it doesn't matter. So for instance, first I see the camera, I smell the cold air, I taste my mouth. Good enough. I hear the humming of the air conditioning, and I touch my fingertips. That counts too. So as long as you ground back to reality, it's supposed to pull you back from whatever environment or situation or emotion that you're feeling at the time, so you can just get back to where you were before you had that panic attack. I think in a way it's almost like generalized anxiety disorder. We haven't gone into like the other anxieties. To specify into these other anxieties, you might need to look into a bit more. Like for instance, OCD, PTSD, I don't think, social anxiety. So it's something you have to look into. And the most important thing why I'm bringing this video out is because I think a lot of people just need to know, like from a general perspective, because if you just look at it, you might be too scared to see a professional because you don't want to be labeled. But in that case, why not, just check it yourself, so that in the future, when you do have important events or important matters to do, or even just a normal daily routine, and you feel like, why am I feeling this way, then you have an idea. Hopefully, yes, that's the end of the video. So live life to the fullest. Annyeong. Assalamualaikum.